idea of sportsmanship has frequently been showing up in mass media outlets. The actions of those targeted by media are either completely parallel or not whatsoever parallel to the ideas of sportsmanship. Take, for example, University of New Mexico soccer player Elizabeth Lambert. Lambert chose to express her frustration and anger during a game against BYU by tripping, elbowing, and pulling the hair of her opponents. Because of her unsportsmanship behavior, Lambert was suspended indefinitely from playing soccer. Lambert released a statement saying, "This is in no way indicative of my character or the soccer player I am." However, in this case, action spoke louder than words. Yet unlike Lambert, Central Washington softball player Mallory Holtman, with the help of a teammate, carried her injured opponent around all 4 bases to help her complete her first ever career home run, while losing the chance of her team qualifying for the NCAA tournament. This was what some called the ultimate act of sportsmanship. So how is it that some athletes express an overabundance of sportsmanship, while others let their drive to succeed take the better of them? What tactics are used to create sportsmanship on an athletic team? And what can athletes do to form team sportsmanship cohesion? Through the upcoming set of interviews with coaches and athletes of the Chatham University athletic community, it is our hope to shine a light on an athletic group which prides itself on sportsmanship behavior, even while being known as the underdog in many meets and games, and to identify how they maintain their sportsmanship behavior. The NCAA values sportsmanship by including it as one of its 16 defining principles. They identify sportsmanship as a set of behaviors to be exhibited by student athletes, coaches, game officials, administrators, and fans in athletics competition.
Well, we don't like negative attitudes, so we try not to have any. It is difficult in this conference because, our all-women's conference sort of fizzled out with the transition of a lot of women's colleges going to co-ed. We're resisting that, so we have to do what we have to do. So we're kind of thrust into co-ed situations, and that gets pretty frustrating because traditionally they have more enrollment, so they have more money, so they have better facilities, better recruiting. The co-ed campus is a little bit easier to sell than the all-women's campus. So what we try to do is just focus on what we can do. We have 6 goals that we set for this year, and we just try to do what we can do to achieve those goals. And on top of the team goals, we set individual goals. So we try to swim within our own ability and try to improve, our own time.
We really just focus on what we want to do. Yes, it depends on what your opponent does, but it also depends on how you react to it. Coach always says, don't react to them, make them react to us and get them on their heels. So that's really just what we do.
At our conference championships, it was a really nasty, cold, windy, rainy day, and you could just tell on everybody else's faces they were doing we were on the starting line. I just would look around and see people are just freezing cold, like just not really into it, whereas normally on a starting line people are getting pumped up, and our team was like high-fiving, excited. A point in the race where there's this massive hill kind of towards the end, and I remember looking, and I swear, because there are a lot of runners that are much better than us, they looked better than anyone else going up the hill, because everybody, even the ones at the very front are going up it, going, and a couple were even like really slowing down, just that miserable, every single one of them just was like focused, just looked so good and just flying up there.
I think just from simply the way that we carry ourselves, there's a certain way on game days you dress, there's a certain way you speak. I think we all have slip-ups from time to time, but as a coach and as coaches, there's certain words we will never say in public ever, let alone to players or referees or to each other. We just won't say them, and I think that's something that you model. I think it's also just the way you carry yourself. After each game, I try to make a point and shake each referee's hand, regardless of whether we won or lost, they made a good call or a bad call. Shake their hand and thank them, because I think that shows that you're committed that way as well.
So the last 2-3-ish years, we've had tournaments that we've held. We've always had like an opening tournament that we have, and it's called Purple Rain, and it's mainly for coaches versus cancer. That was started by, I want to say, the NC State's men's basketball coach who died of cancer. He first found out that he had cancer, and he lived his life every day. He didn't let it slow it down or anything, and he started a program for cancer research, and it's all in every year, especially after he passed away, they did a Coaches versus Cancer, and every university, college program around the country does it for a week or a weekend, and ours is called Purple Rain.
The nature of being in Division III, we have to really impress upon them what they're getting out of this. People often say, well, Division III athletes don't get any scholarship money, so what's in it for them? And I think that the currency is the time that you put into it.
Athletics are, I think one of the things about athletics is the fact that you can go through so many bad times, but like getting over that is what makes it worth it. Being able to push yourself beyond your limits, and you don't think you can do something, but then suddenly you do it, and it's like incredible.